All right, so today we're going to talk about the atomic light expander. Is it good? Oh yeah! This is a bad boy right here. Look at this spear. It's so unassuming. Just a simple, thin metal shaft with a little glowy light bulb at the top. But let me tell you, man, this thing right here is a monster weapon. We tested this out in a power level 140 match, and holy cow. Holy cow, this thing absolutely shredded every enemy into dust. If you guys love what we're doing here and you want to support the channel, please use our supporter creator. It helps us out so much to be able to keep doing what we're doing here. So thank you so much, guys. So this is a retro sci-fi spear. It's a spear that deals heavy damage with long-range thrusting attacks. So you can attack enemies while not being hit. You can pressure them back and kill them without ever taking a point of damage if you're being careful and moving around effectively. Now, man, it's so good. It's so good. Honestly, you could just walk through enemies. The damage you do with your crits is just amazing. You know, everything about this weapon is pretty amazing, including the electric smash. Now this says slam the spear into the ground, damaging surrounding enemies. Now that does not do this weapon justice. The heavy attack on the atomic light expander is so crazy. It is so crazy that you can go into a power level 140 mission with a 130 spear, hit the ground, and anything smaller than a husky just deletes. Anything that survives, you can immediately hit the ground again because you can do it twice. So boom, boom, and everything that is smaller than a husky 100% is dead. I was blown away by the power of this. This is like, it's like a spammable shock tower. It's so insane. I don't even understand. Like, there's no cooldown. The cooldown is your energy. Like, dang, bro. Really? Like, it doesn't take that long to get another heavy attack up, right? It's no 20 seconds like a shock tower. And this thing has some good range. Like, this thing, you hit the ground, boom, everything gets slammed. The super speedy babies, man, they are just insta vaporized. You know, any pitchers insta vaporized. A few husks might survive the onslaught, but like not much, man. Not much survives. Any medium size or small enemy, smalls are dead, mediums are crippled. Yeah, holy cow, the power of this weapon is so insane. Let's talk about the perks, because this is really important. The perks that I use for this one is crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, armor, energy. And the passive that I use for this is hitting an enemy with this weapon grants +6 critical rating for 5 seconds, stacks up to 5 times, getting you a grand total of 30 crit rate if you continue to attack. So that is huge, right? That's huge. That means this thing is going to be running around with at least a 50% crit rate. So you're going to be critting half your attacks on this. Amazing. The attack speed is not great because we only have 1 attack speed on it, but honestly, you need to have crit rate, crit damage on this weapon. It's really important. I don't think that I would want to rely on the passive for all my crit. That seems, pretty risky. I like to have a consistent, reliable amount of crit and then have bonus crit stack on top of that as an extra to add additional power. So I don't love the attack speed on this weapon, but I mean, it hits like a truck, man. It hits like a truck. This thing it's not slow. It's still 0.57, which is, a decent attack speed. But like, look at the crit chance on this thing. Like, oh my God, a 48% base crit, 185% critical hit damage, 31,000 damage. I mean, you could viably, because it has a 20% base crit, you could viably just skip the crit rate if you wanted to use other perks for this thing. If you wanted to stack more crit damage, right? You do have some options. There is no clear cut, you know, this is the best. You know, there's a lot of different really, really effective bests on this weapon. You know, I could do a lot with this one. So the crit rate on there doesn't really have the option to put attack speed or crit damage. So your options are really limited to extra damage, or you know, I wouldn't even do the other two. Impact and heavy attack efficiency, in my opinion, is kind of pointless. So getting extra damage is an option if you wanted to just run with 20% base crit and then rely on the ramp to get it up higher, you know, to get it up towards 48%. So it's up to you how you want to play that. Personally, I prefer going with you know, a consistent crit rate, and then having this one boost it, you know, just a little bit past. You probably end up around, you know, somewhere between 50 and 60% crit rate, which is insane, right? Anything over 50% is just bonkers. So we're definitely wasting a lot of the passive by running crit rate on the weapon. But that's my argument as to why I did it, is just because the options for the crit rate perk is really just crit rate or damage. So I would rather have crit rate than damage. But that's just me. Either which way you do it, this weapon is going to be fantastic. If it came down to crit rate or attack speed, I would have definitely taken attack speed, but sadly, that wasn't an option. This thing synergizes so well with Paleo, and we're going to talk about the build that I use with this character. We use the my Paleo Luna, the Dino Queen build. So here she is, Paleo Luna, in all her glory, rocking Saurian Claws, giving 16.5% of her current health to melee weapon damage, which is pretty much, she's at full health all the time, man. So just massive, massive damage. You know, 16.5%. Right now, my character is running with 221. So let's just do some quick math for you guys. 221,331 times 0.165. That's 16.5% equals 36,519 damage. What? 36,000 per swing. Holy moly, this, like, oh, I just want to show you guys so you have some perspective on what we just 36,000. This weapon only does 19,000 damage. You add 36,000 per swing with Paleo Luna, which is why fast attack weapons work so good on her. But that said, this weapon does just fine, you know, harnessing that power and wiping everything out. So that's Miss Paleo Luna right there. Monster. So we are synergizing her with the Dim Mak ability. This is the ability that regenerates your shield every time that you go into Shadow Stance. Shadow Stance gets triggered by killing enemies. So as you can see, Shadow Stance at the bottom. After eliminating one enemy with melee weapons, you enter the Shadow Stance for 4 seconds, increasing your armor by 60 and your movement speed by 15. So as long as you're killing things with melee attacks, you have extremely high armor and really fast movement speed. Insane. Then, for each ninja that you have in your lineup, as you can see, we have 3 ninjas in our lineup. So we're getting 2.7% times 3. So that's 6, 7, 8, 8.1% shield regeneration per second. Incredible. So that basically just keeps your shield, you know, pumped up really, really high. That's really important when you're using Must Protect. Must Protect is Edie. He is the new constructor hero, and he's got an incredible ability which synergizes so well with this crit constantly weapon. Critical hits with melee weapon energy damage adds 32% of your current shield to your damage. Dang. But dang. Yeah. Pretty nuts. If you were confused as to how relevant that is, 32% of 126,000 shield. 126,391 times 0.32 equals 40,000 damage. 40,000 damage, guys. You're doing 40,000 bonus damage every single time you get a crit with full shields. Now, you're going to crit about half the time, technically over half the time because of this weapon. But we're just going to say, for argument's sake, 50% of 40,000, well, it's 20,000, right? So 20,222 damage per swing on average. Now, you remember the weapon itself only had 17,000 damage, so this is effectively doubling, over doubling your damage so long as you have full shields. Meanwhile, DimMac is regenerating your shields constantly, making it so that you almost always have full shields. Synergy much? Yeah, you could say so. Pretty disgusting. So that's the new ED character. Keep in mind that if your shields are lower, your damage will be lower.
All right, so then we have Poking Holes. This is Deadly Lotus Luna. She gives you a increased spear damage by 25% against afflicted targets, which is any time that you get a crit. Anytime you get a critical hit, you're going to trigger your corrosive strikes from Deadly Blade Crash, and you're going to get a 25% damage bonus against those targets. So really, really powerful, although, you know, it's not going to be on every hit, unfortunately. The afflicted enemies stipulation is kind of annoying, and it kind of makes it dependent on your crits and using another hero as an activator, but it does still work quite well, especially against the bigger targets.
Then you've got Corrosive Strikes with Deadly Blade Crash. Melee critical hits apply 30% snare and affliction to your targets. So every time you get a crit, which is all the time, like over half the time, you're going to slow the enemy down, and then they're going to get hit with a 37% affliction damage per second. So every second they take 30% bonus damage per second for 3 seconds. So ludicrous. Your critical hits are just devastatingly powerful. Really noticeable when you're fighting smashers or any big target that has time to actually, melt. So wildly powerful. Then you've got Assassination. This character is Assassin Sarah, giving you extra melee damage. It stacks 5 times. Each time it stacks, you get an extra 4.5 damage. Percent damage, so 4.5% more damage. So 4.5 times 5 equals 22.5%. So 22.5% bonus damage after your 5th chained attack. So you just keep on attacking. As long as you keep attacking once every 5 seconds, you maintain that 22.5% bonus damage. So legendary. Crazy powerful. You've got all these. You got 22.5% bonus damage, 25% bonus damage, an extra, just ludicrous bonus damage. Paleo Luna, absurd bonus. Like, the amount of damage that this build pumps out is gonna rock your world, man. And the thing that really takes it home is the fact that it's a shield regeneration, life regeneration build. So here you got Survivalist with Survivalist Jonesy, healing you for 39 base damage over 3 seconds. This is incredible, man. It's incredible. Basically, you're healing for about 10% of your health every 3 seconds. You heal about 3 to 4% of your health per second, every second for 3 seconds. So after 10 seconds, you get about 10% of your health back. It's crazy because it means synergizing with the DimMac. You've got your DimMac protecting you on the front end with shield regeneration, just blocking with shields, and then any health that actually gets damage regenerates in the backside on the back end. So you've got your health is like, your shields goes down, your health goes down, then your shields goes up, and then it protects your health, and your health just keeps going up while your shields keep taking damage. If you play smart, you're basically immortal. Like, this is just such a devastatingly powerful ninja build. This is the most powerful ninja build in the entire game for melee weapons. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. This is the new updated. The new must protect is such a big deal for the build. This is not necessarily the build I would use with every weapon, but with this weapon, because this weapon has such an enormous crit rate, yeah, it works. It works so well. Normally, I would have Whiteout Fiona in my build to give that 15 extra crit rate bonus, but being that you have almost too much crit rate on this character just built into the weapon itself, you can put Edie in there and just get even more bonus damage. So ludicrous, man, ludicrous. There's so much synergy within this build, within this weapon. It's so much fun to use. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe how entertaining the Atomic Light Expander is. I think the highlight for me of this weapon has got to be the heavy attack. The heavy attack exceeded my expectations so dramatically. It was so effective on such high level enemies. Like, I expected, it to be trash along with the rest of the sci-fi perks, the new 7 explosions, the new expanding ring, they're so garbage. Just garbage. You garbage. I expected this to be exactly the same trash, but let me tell you right now, I assure you, it is not trash. This weapon is god tier, man. God tier. It is right up there with Lancelot, with the steampunk spear. This thing is in the pantheon of greatest spears ever. The only spear that is going to one day overthrow the current spear meta is a spear that actually has affliction in the support slot, so that it can finally synergize with the spear hero. But even then, I don't think it's going to compete, because Paleo Luna is so busted that I think she's going to overthrow all of these melee specialist heroes, and she's just like, hey, I'm good at everything. All right, guys. Thank you so much to my Twitch crew for bringing this weapon to me. I was having trouble finding a light expander with the ramping crit rate, and one of my guys went and brought me this weapon and was like, here, I god rolled it exactly to your specifications. I'm like, oh, thank you. And then I used it, and I just rocked my world. So yeah, thank you so much to my Twitch crew. We're out here streaming over 18 hours every day, 7 days a week, no days off. We do an 81-hour marathon with the help of my wife every single weekend. Just a blast, man. So thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for being a part of the VASH core. Come out and hang out with us on Twitch, man. Be a part of the VASH core. Come play some games, have some fun, keep me company. Rock and roll, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this. If you like our content, ring that little bell. Leave those thumbs up. Help the channel grow. Leave a comment down below, please. Let me know what you think about this weapon. Holy cow, man. I'm so blown away. It's just man, the sci-fi event is not disappointing, man. It's just amazing. It's not 100% perfect, but it is one of the most, like, power-filled sets, both with heroes and with weapons, that I could have ever imagined. I cannot believe how rich this set is. So, rock and roll, guys. So much fun. I'll catch you in the next one. Oh yeah!